Guys, seriously, this very dark man and Prophet Jeremiah case go long well. Oh. More lawyers now don't they volunteer to support very dark man for court. I know say this issue of miracle money and miracle soup and other things wey dey happen for this country, if we dey keep quiet, a lot of things go dey spoil. People go dey lazy to work. They expect miracle something to happen to them. If you go to other country, I never see where country they use religion as a means of empowerment. Like what I mean, make people dey lazy to work. Oyibo will bring religion like UK. Churches mostly they hold on Sunday. But for Nigeria, you go see people go do crusade from Monday till Friday. See go to church on Sunday. All the whole week, they are very useless going to church, praying to God, instead of them working. God said there's no food for a lazy man. I don't know why would they use religion till they replace our laziness. But I just watch this video. When I see the way this man go react, even if Prophet Jeremiah withdraw the case, he himself is determined to continue with the case. When I just watch this video.
Right. This is a conversation that has, heated the social media space and eventually has gotten everyone talking. First off, when I saw you put out that video, I couldn't help but laugh, I'll be honest. And I said, okay, this is going somewhere else. What do you make of this touch not my anointed, especially looking at the case that's at hand where a product or products are being sold and Nigerians are buying at will without it being registered? And what do you have to say about NAFDAC keeping quiet?
Yeah, first and foremost, we need to understand that the constitution of the land is the ground norm. The constitution is higher than the Quran, is higher than the Bible. We in the South here, we condemn people when we hear Boko Haram members say the Quran is their ground norm and that any law in the constitution that is conflicting with the Quran, that they will obey the Quran first. We condemn them. But here, we do the same thing. When people believe that the Bible is higher a law than the constitution of the land. In the constitution, there are no exception there are no anointed men. If you commit an offense, you go, before the law takes its course. So this idea of touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm or live on for God is born out of ignorance. And that's why people will defraud, people will commit crime, all in the name of, being anointed. And knowing fully well that there's so much ignorance in the land, once you cover yourself with that cloak of being anointed, the tendency that the people would defend you, will be there because out of ignorance. So that's why you see all of these things happening. It is not the position of the law. The law does not anoint anybody in as far as Nigeria is concerned. And then I'm shocked and I'm surprised that a respected and responsible DG of NAFDAC, a woman we respect so much, who's a professor of pharmacy, will keep quiet that products like these are being sold, people are buying, and yet without NAFDAC approval, and these are consumables because soap, for example, is something you use. It's categorized under drug administration. That's why water, for example, if you want to bottle water, you want to bag water, you must get NAFDAC approval. NAFDAC must inspect the factory. Somebody is bottling water and selling and saying it's a miracle water, and yet, these are waters that people consume, and yet there is no, NAFDAC is quiet and silent because we will be turned to a nation of, religion and religiosity. So that's basically what is playing out here. And so that's why some of us feel that we can't keep quiet. It is time to test the law, test the position of the law. But I also would tell you that this is a clear case of fraud. Because and what the police, everyday police, they call it OBT, obtaining by false pretense. If I come to you and I tell you, this water will cure all kinds of diseases, and then I buy the water, and it does not cure you know, the disease that you claim that it will cure. And then you say it's because I do not have faith or I do not love you, and that is why it didn't work. Then it is obtaining by fraud, by false pretense. Because, like the very dark man said, if I have headache, paracetamol says it will cure my headache. And I take paracetamol, I don't need to have faith. If you have malaria, you go to the hospital, the doctor will prescribe medications for you. And if they don't work, in some cases, people have been known to sue hospitals and doctors for prescribing wrong medication. And NAFDAC had to step into such situations to even test the efficacy of such drug. That's why during Professor Dora Akunyili's time, there were issues of fake drugs, you know, all in the market, and steps were taken to ensure that, you know, the influx of fake drug is regulated. But today, you have all kinds of fake miracle, products selling. And the problem is that if you leave one, if there is no consequences, if somebody is not used as an example, before you know, there'll be so much proliferation of this product that people, the unsuspecting, because you live in a society that is largely uneducated, the unsuspecting and gullible worshippers, because the pastors, the so-called men of God, have undue influence over these people, they can easily manipulate and influence them. So it is not also a case of I did not force them to buy. Impliedly, under the law, you have forced them because you have influence over them. So we call it undue influence. I do not see where somebody needs to buy key to go to heaven. Because what we are toiling with now is a situation. You remember the Guyana tragedy, where somebody, a passive man of God, told his followers to go sell their properties and come, that the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ was near. And they all went there and drank poisons and died because they were all going to heaven. So the Boko Haram religious extremists that we tolerated yesteryears in the north has turned to Boko Haram and banditry, you know, to us in our midst today. And close to 20 years now, we're battling insecurity in the north. Today also, if this religious extremism that we are keeping quiet for over in the south, if care is not taken, one man can tomorrow raise an army of young people and ask them to go cause mayhem in the name of the Lord. So these are why regulatory agencies should step up, NAFDAC, not only NAFDAC now quickly, because this is business. What is FRS and the state inland revenue doing to check, you know, the taxes paid by these people? Because this is no longer about religiosity. Because if you talk about religion, then it talks about, you would not be talking about Part C under Kama. Because you say it's a charitable organization.
Mr. Oshoma, I think that at this point, it will be important for us to even do some legal education as to what exactly constitutes defamation, because there has been a $1 billion lawsuit slammed on him, and I know that they also sought an injunction refraining him from calling out Prophet Jeremiah Fufeyin. Now let's look at what would actually constitute a defamation of character. We did see the videos of Very Dark Man calling him out for the products that had been used, talking about the fact that he had no NAFDAC number, and also, you know, speaking to the function and whether they're actually doing what they were meant to do or what they have been acclaimed to do. So at what point would Prophet Fufeyin have had a strong claim, or does he have in any way a claim, a defamation claim? At what point would one say that they can have a strong case of defamation?
Yeah, before I go into that, I would you know, draw a analogy from Section 35, is it 35 or 25 now of the Cybercrime Act, and then also use it to explain defamation for you. I will quickly, you know, give you an instance, an example, what happens in other societies. You remember our Indaboski pastor, you know, who performs all kinds of miracles here, slam people as if he's slam dunking basketball, you know, in Nigeria here. You know, recently he was in London for his so-called concert. Did you see him slam people on the floor or perform miracle? He ended up just, you know, holding a comedy show or a concert. Because in those society, nobody will allow you to come deceive anybody with fake miracles. Then, that said, Section 35 or 25 of the Cybercrime Act defines, cyberbullying as using the internet to pass wrong information about somebody. And defamation is when you pass wrong information, knowing that information to be true. You speak wrong information about somebody, knowing that information to be false. Libel is when it is published wrong information about person, maliciously. But what are the defense to defamation? Defense to defamation is the fact that this information is not wrong, it is true. So I have justification for it. In the first place, you do not even have a reputation to protect, because what you're doing is passing out, wrong products. These products that I am calling out are wrong products. So there is no reputation here. If you are out there lying and cheating people, and yet you now say you should be defended because nobody should talk about the fact that it's a cheat or it's a lie, it's a defense to defamation. So the first thing is you must first and foremost prove that you have a reputation and that the narrative is false, and then the defense will now come and prove justification and that the narrative, truth is a defense to defamation. So in this case, and it's a defense also to cyberbullying. So in this case, that is why for you to say cyberbullying, the information you are passing must be wrong. So in this case, let's look at the narrative now. What are the narrative? You say you have miracle soap, you have miracle water, you have miracle perfume, full of bestseller, you have keys and you have stones, and that they heal and they cure. They drive away poverty. And anybody that uses them will, if we are finding difficulty in building a house, there are spiritual attacks. Once you use this product, that you will, all of these difficulties will vanish. Olive, you remember the case of Carbolic Smoke Ball Company versus Khalil? Every elementary law student knows that case. So it applies here. Now you have advertised to the entire world. Anybody at all that uses this product and it fails can call you out, because you owe that person a duty of care. And so in this case, I buy the product and I take them. I want to heal people because I'm passionate about, I want to heal people on the streets. I say, okay, let me buy this product that they say is working, and I give it to them and nothing happens. Is that not deceit? And then people are buying ignorantly, and I go and I say, NAFDAC, this person claimed to have registered this product. What are the ingredients? Because also by the Freedom of Information Act, the virtue of the Freedom of Information Act, you have a right to seek information from agencies. So NAFDAC, by virtue of this freedom of information, I need information. This product, what are the ingredients? What did you actually carry out to approve this product? What are the steps taken? I also need you, these are the products. Please help us carry out a verification in your lab to test the efficacy of this product. It's not everything that should be left in the realms of spirituality. So, because you're claiming that this thing will heal physical. There are keys also. I don't know if you've seen the video of keys.
Yeah, we saw the edit,
the graphics. Mind you, these are public funds. If they give you a visa to UK now, they will state it there. No recourse to public fund. Public fund does not mean that you must work in government. Even if you are working or you're selling items to the public that you will collect money from, that is having recourse to public fund. So when you sell products and you're making money from the public, the government owes it a duty to protect public fund. It does not necessarily have to mean money coming from government.
All right. Mr.
So
Shoma,
that is why we're calling on.
Yeah, we unfortunately have to, go right now because we're out of time. But as quickly as possible, there are reports that this case has been, that Prophet Jeremiah has withdrawn his case against Verydarkman. Do you have any information regarding that? Is it true or not?
I do. Yeah, I saw that all on the internet. I volunteered to defend the Verydarkman Obono. Verydarkman has not reached out to me, accepting my request to defend him.
All right.
You know, because it is one thing to be a volunteer, it's another thing for the person you are volunteering to say, well, I have accepted you to be part of my legal team.
Well, I'm sure that in the coming days.
And I have a lot of people, a lot of lawyers, a whole lot of barrage of lawyers that have also reached out to me to say they want to be part of that team. But the very next day I saw on the internet.
Yes. I'm sure that in the coming, I'm certain that in the coming days we'll have a clearer picture as to whether or not the case has been withdrawn and what the next steps will be regarding this case. But we thank you so much for joining us.
Even if the case is withdrawn, I will take out the petition to the Inspector General of Police also to conduct an investigation into all of these public issues. I will write the Minister of Justice, I will write the Minister of Finance.
Mr. Oshoma, are you not touching the anointed? Are you not touching the anointed by doing that?
I'm only complying with the provisions of the laws of the land as a lawyer. I don't know about anointing.
All right.
Okay.
I'm also anointed. So
thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Oshoma. We will, of course, love to have you again so you can give us an update regarding the petition that you're going to be writing, depending on which way this case goes. But it's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.